juju. I want to do something I'm not used to doing, which is celebrating myself. So you can join me in this working through these feelings. Um, I I did some stuff that I'm proud of today. I braided my hair, first time in a while. Uh, I don't know. It just seems like a hurdle. I've just been bunning it up. That's what I do with this. When I like tomorrow, I'll get tired of this, and then I'll roll it up into a bun. But I did that. Uh, Showered, fresh clothes, went to town, ran some errands. You know, a little tiring. Went and had breakfast at one of my favorite restaurants, and I didn't get my usual, which is a massive amount of food, like food coma amounts of food. It's called the Pile Up, and that reminds me. Knock knock. I'm a pile up. I'm a pile up poo. But I didn't get that because today was the day of Amish dinner, and I didn't want to get too full, so I tried something new, like a vegetable omelet, and it was still quite filling because I got the side of French toasts. You know, don't mean to brag, don't mean to boast. I got a veggie omelet with a side of French toast, and it was filling and delicious. And the server, when we were done with our meal, threw the receipt on the table, and I'm like, oh man, oh, you want to ruin my meal, like, with the up with the price of the meal and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, it just irks me. Like, turn it over, right? Thank you. Like, I don't know. I just old school. Like, grew up with that, and you worry about how much the meal costs when you're all done eating and you're ready to go, and then you can think about it and worry about the tip and stuff. And it just like was like, but my wife knows me so well. She like whoosh, flipped it over, and I'm like, but it still bothered me, and I couldn't let it go. And normally I would just like stuff it down, but I talked to her, and I was like, I'm old, like I'm like almost, well, I didn't tell her my age, but I was like, I just want to let you know, like, you know, there's, I don't know how I said it, but I told her it bugged me. I still like, tipped her the regular amount, and she didn't even seem to care that it bugged me, no apology, nothing. But I was like, whatever. And ran to the grocery store and was able to do the thing and didn't get overwhelmed. It wasn't crazy, and you know did some other stuff, and yeah, I actually had an interaction, and I was honest about my my status as a former person that yeah, served in the armed forces. Hi, it's that's my raven friend. Hi. I'm trying to get him to say other stuff. He does like clicking and things, and I don't know if he's actually talking to me. He might be flying away. fly by. Where was I? Oh yeah, and this person like thanked me, and I normally am just incredibly awkward, and I'm like, I told her like that really, that generally, and she's like, yeah, I know, I generally don't say anything, but I really felt compelled to say that to you. And it was really interesting, and I told her about why I don't like that and how like I didn't get called up and go overseas, and I kind of feel like blah blah blah, like feelings that I thought were like completely, gone, but there's, still some remnants there, which is pretty fascinating. So, yeah, and she was like, you did the thing, and I was like, okay. And that was really amazing. Ow. And here, um, came home, had a little bit of time, and then I forgot all about the chicken dinner. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm not hungry yet. And waited a little bit, and then we ended up going. And it's not our first time. Um, uh, it's like a fundraiser that they have to raise money for their school. So we've been to a few of their dinners. They have different types of dinners, like breakfasts and dinners and what have you. But here, I, I stick out like a sore thumb because I'm the only brown person generally there. There's been actually one. The last time there was a Indian woman, so that was cool. But I'm the only guy who has long hair, so the Amish kids are like, they just can't stop staring at me, and they'll like, and they even one had a puppy, and I was gonna try and talk, but they got all bashful and took off, and it's really just, uh, oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. Um, when I went grocery shopping, this is the thing that really was like surprising for me because I'm trying to be comfortable with who I am and how I express myself and what's comfortable for me, and a lot of my mannerisms are, like not so whatever masculine or whatever. And here, I'm showing that more. And when we were done grocery shopping, there was a guy in line, and here he was basically wearing like a pink tutu, like, these shorts that were really high, and he was, really, like, from his haircut and his shirt and glasses and stuff, bigger guy, bigger than me, big guy, like walking around like that, and I'm like, I couldn't really even acknowledge him. I was uncomfortable because out in the country now, like I was in the cities for 20 years, like that was like an everyday thing, but out here you don't really see that, and it was really interesting how uncomfortable I got with myself, seeing this guy being comfortable with himself, and I'm like, wow, wow, I think I still have some stuff to work on. And here when we went to this Amish dinner, like I can just feel all of people's energy and, like, looking at me, and when we were going through the line, so like, they put the stuff on the plate. Each person has their, like, their serving line, and the Amish men were like really uncomfortable with me, like didn't really say hi, thank them, and they would kind of like, they were really awkward, and they didn't even see me. They couldn't see me. They couldn't acknowledge me, and they didn't see me as a person. And this was the first time I really, really noticed that. And it didn't really sink in until I sat down, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what I did to the guy at the grocery store. Like, wow. And it was such a surreal experience because this was the first time that we've gone, and they have it in a greenhouse. So like it's the sound is trapped in there, and it's hot because it's a greenhouse, and you know they have the sides open to let the air flow through, but it's still hot in there, and it just felt like, you know, all the stuff was pushed up. You know, all the stuff was pushed up. All my senses and everything was like insane levels, and it took everything to like not like I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Like the sound and oh my god. And I what I remembered was hurting my leg. I injured my leg a month ago. I tore my hamstring, and I didn't tell anybody. I just got back on the boat, and I didn't want everything to come to a halt and, you know, go racing in because my niece was gonna go, and I didn't want to ruin that. So I just kind of like sucked it up. Basically, I focused on a part of the boat, and I just like, and then I would be able to watch, and then I would could tell how much it would hurt again, and I would like find a spot, and that's kind of what I did. Like I kind of just like I couldn't take in all the visual stimulus and all the sound, and it took everything for me not to stick my fingers in my ears, and that would have really helped. And I don't have any like noise canceling well, I do, but I don't know, like I think I'm still not completely comfortable with stuff. And I also like when I got there, I kind of pulled on my hamstring a little bit, and I was like, oh man, I should have brought my cane, should have brought my walking stick, like oh. But you know that would have been pretty tough going through the line with that. So managed to do that, and here just like the waves of sensation were like just suddenly like starting to dissipate. And you know I was there with my wife, and she was sitting across from me, thank goodness, and she held my hand, and like I made it through that, and I'm like, oh, there you are, there you are. And it was so fascinating to just like, oh, you know, because even like the shit talker really ramped up, and he was like, you know, talking about like people staring at me and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, but then it just like went away, and I was able to like ground myself by eating some food and, you know, drinking, and just like working through that, and you know, and then it would rise back up again, like you know, they were banging something, and you know, and I was just, you know, it was just like waves and waves of that stuff, and I worked through it, you know, I worked through it, and yeah, pretty big deal for me. So, I just wanted to share that, I guess. Yeah, I gotta celebrate the wins. Well, thank you for stopping in and listening to me. I talked about a lot of stuff. Um, Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening to me, and take care. See you next time.